So now we will see how grant command will work. For that, we have to use see first what are the various databases that we have. Okay, then we will use college as a database. Then we want to see what are the various host or users that we have in the said like database. Who all can use the database college? It is the user. Now what we will do, we will create a user for him, and we allow him to use our local host, and then he will be identified by a password. I'm writing password. You can do some different password here. It says the query is okay. Now we have created for him, but for him cannot perform any function here. So we have to give some access rights to him. We need to grant some rights to him. So what we will write grant all on everything that we have. Okay, everything that we have on this database to Fahim, who can use the same on localhost with all grant options, like all permissions that we are giving him. So it says query is okay. So everything on the database, that whether it's a database, whether it's a table, everything is given access to Fahim. And what we will do, we will use flush privileges. After you grant everything, then you have to use flush privileges. Then what we will do, we will quit, and again we are going to see here, we will use the database college now. Then what are we going to use? We are going to see the various hosts and users that we have on the MySQL users. So Fahim is added here. Now after this, we are going to create a database. Fahim home. And create a user. Let the second user be Adil. Then at the rate localhost. At the rate of localhost. That is, Adil is going to use the localhost identified by password. Then what we after we created Adil as a user, we just saw we have created Adil, but we have not grant any permissions to him. So we will write this grant all on everything to Adil at localhost with grant option. So the permissions are given to the Adil. What we will see, we will first see how many users we have from mysql.users. So you can provide the permission with the syntax that I have already given you. Then these are the users that we have. We can drop any of the users using drop user Fahim from mysql.user. Okay, we will again see drop user. Okay. We have to write drop user at localhost. Now we will again check the users that we have. It will show that for him we have already dropped. Let us see what databases we have. Okay, we are going to use a database, and in that we will see what are the various user or host that we have in this. Okay, now we have Adil here. We have created a user Adil here. Now what we will do, we will see whether there are any permissions that are provided to Adil. So there are no permissions. Now we will see if we can provide the permissions to Adil. We will grant all the permissions. There are no permissions, and it is just to grant the permissions. Otherwise, if it had any kind of permissions, we would have them here. So we will see. It shows query okay. So all the permissions are given to the Adel. Now we will see the permissions. So you can see the difference here. It was giving us the syntax to grant the permissions because there was no permissions given to Adel. Now here we have all the permissions. Now how we can revoke? We can revoke the permissions again by using revoke all on Adel local host. It is showing some kind of error. Let us see how we can fix it. So the error was while giving the permission, we write to the user, and while revoking the permissions, we write from the user. So let us see whether the permissions, what are the various permissions now. It again shows no permissions. It actually gives us the syntax that we have to use to grant the permissions. So there are other also there are different concepts related to the grant and how we can revoke. Like you can grant only few permissions. Like you can grant select command, insert command, or you can grant update command to the user. Like the user can perform such operations on the specific table or to all the tables that you identify. You can be specific in providing the permissions on how the user or who the users are that are going to use our database or the tables and so on. So this is the basic concept. As of now, just understand the how we can provide the permissions to the user and how we can also revoke the permissions. So this completes our data control